Okay. Hey, everybody. I am just getting set up here, and I want to make sure that everyone can hear me. I can see everyone is already introducing themselves, and I see some friends in here. Hey, everybody. If you can hear me, please let me know. If you cannot hear me, I cannot see you, Sam. Do not worry. If you're not seeing the video, press play. So hopefully everyone, all right. Hopefully everyone, this works for everybody. Okay, so I'm just gonna give people a few minutes to get tuned in here and get everything set up. It's only 11:02, so I'll give people just a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. I'm super excited about this workshop today because I pretty much planned it all yesterday. Not because I'm a procrastinator, I am kind of a procrastinator, but also because I wanted to actually prove to you guys that it is possible to do this, to plan a whole month's worth of content in one day, even less than one day. Because all morning long I was working on getting ready and advertising this and getting new people to sign up for this. So I really did most of the content for this presentation in the afternoon. So you're gonna see exactly what I did, and hopefully you'll be able to replicate this for your own accounts and plan a whole bunch of content for yourself. I'm really excited to share it with everybody. Oh, so happy to have everybody on here. If you haven't scrolled down and you're just watching this, there is a chat box down below where you can have your say. Everyone needs somewhere to say what they want to say. So that is all down below. All right, why don't I go ahead and share my screen and get started. All right. Here we go. So I want to make sure that everyone can see this. I think it's working out. There's a little bit of a lag between what I'm doing and what is happening on the video. So it just I needed 1 second to make sure everything was working. Oh, and if any dogs are watching this, tell them that Lucy says hi. All right, so here we are. You are currently watching a live workshop called How to Balance the Gram Life with Real Life. So one of the things I hear from a lot of people is that they don't have time for Instagram, that Instagram is taking over their life, all sorts of things like that. So I'm hoping that this workshop will be able to clear a few things up. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat box as much as I can, but there will be more time at the end for questions. So if I miss a question that you have in the chat box, please remind me later. Just want to get that out there. Okay, so who the heck am I? I am Tori Mystic. I am the creator of Instamystic, which is my signature Instagram education course and business where I do coaching and free resources and help a couple people manage their stuff. And then I have my courses as well. So that's what Instamystic is. It's all about Instagram. And my last name really is Mystic. Some people think that this is a stage name of some kind, but that's really my last name. And I decided to just kind of lean into it with the naming of my business because I am really into crystals and the power of intention and the law of attraction, which we'll be talking about later. So I hope that I can kind of be your mystic spirit guide when it comes to Instagram. I'm also a blogger at Wear, Wag, Repeat. That's a blog that I've had for almost 5 years, and it is about my dog, Lucy, and I create lots of stuff there for stylish dog moms. I was just at a dog blogging conference last week where I presented a panel about Instagram stories. I've been a social media consultant for over 9 years. I started out doing everything under the sun, from Facebook to Pinterest to Yelp to blogs to email blasts, all that stuff. And then in 2017, I decided to narrow down and just focus on Instagram because it's my favorite social network. And I also think there's just a lot more positivity on Instagram. And I myself have developed a really wonderful audience and community of friends, especially in the dog mom community on Instagram. So I really love it, and it's sort of my mission here to make it more enjoyable and easier for everyone to use. I am always smiling, as you can tell from most of my photos, and if you've ever had a conversation with me in real life, I cannot stop smiling. And clearly I am dog mom AF. All right, so this is how you can find me. At the bottom there are my 2 Instagram handles, at Instamistic and at Tmystic. Instamistic is where I share lots of my Instagram tips and everything, and then at Tmystic is my dog mom account where I have over 32,000 followers. And that was sort of the inspiration for me starting Instamistic, was because I went from 1,500 to 10,000 followers in less than a year. And then in less than a year since then, I've grown to 32,000. So I like to think that I've cracked the code on Instagram. A lot of you already shared your handles in the chat box, but if you didn't already, please share what your Instagram username is in the chat box. And that way everyone can follow you, and I can follow you later, and we can see what you're doing. All right, so I want to start this. Obviously, you signed up for this workshop because you have some difficulties with Instagram, or you have some issues that you want me to help you with, obviously, right? So some of the complaints that I hear from people is that they feel like they're posting the same photo all the time. Someone just told me that yesterday while I was working on this. A lot of people say that they can't find images that fit their brand, and they're very frustrated. And then some people think that it takes them forever to plan their Instagram posts. I know that Instagram can be a major time suck for a lot of people, because you just start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then before you know it, an hour has gone by and you haven't really done anything. So I am here to hopefully show you how it doesn't have to be that way, and to help you make the best use of your time. Now, big, bold at the bottom of this, I have a huge complaint that I get from a lot of people that say, I can't afford a photographer. I have clients who tell me this all the time. I have coaching clients. I have people who DM me all the time, because I'm always saying that you need original photos and you need original content for your account. And some people think that that is a huge barrier, that they cannot afford a photographer, that it's going to be expensive and it's going to be out of their reach. But it doesn't have to be. There are some affordable photographers out there. And then I'm also going to show you today how I, as an amateur, took a whole bunch of photos and used some crafty little editing apps to make my own on-brand images. And you can totally do it too. All right, so I do know what I'm talking about. So I wanted to just share a few little testimonials that I've gotten from people in the last year or two. One of my clients said that Tori got me excited to spend time and energy on Instagram again. That was my friend Erin who said that, actually. And then Taz the dog mom, I think she's actually in here. I saw her pop up in the chat box. She recently told me that a week ago she was at 686 followers, and now she's at 1,000 plus. So I am really happy that the advice that I gave her is helping to grow her account and turn her into a dog mom influencer. And then I also have one other testimonial here that says, I didn't realize how simple it would be to take our account to the next level. And I love that, because it really is simple. I think people love to overcomplicate things, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed and think that you have to do everything. But just please take my advice. Please take notes during this workshop. It doesn't have to be that hard, okay? And then I just saw Taz said now she's at 2,400 almost. So good for her. Congrats. On your way to 10K. All right. Today in this workshop, we are going to, number one, identify Instagrammable moments and capture them the right way. I'm going to show you exactly how I identified what I thought was going to be a great Instagrammable place and then what I did when I got there. Number two, I am going to show you how to plan your feed with on-brand images using some stock images and some quote templates. And then number three, I'm going to give you a few little tips about staying positive about your account's growth. I'm loving all the comments in the chat box. I'm watching you guys. Hey, Rochelle. Okay, so I'm so excited about this, you guys. Let me take a sip of tea. Of course, I've kind of had a cold all week long when I have to talk for an hour, right? Okay, so all right, what I want to show you guys is how exactly I identified an Instagrammable moment and what I did when I got there. So what I'm going to show you in the course of this workshop is how I created a month's worth of content for my Instamistic Instagram account. So if you're familiar with my Instamistic account, it's very pink, it's very girly. I feature myself occasionally, but certainly not in every picture by far. And so anyhow, driving around Pittsburgh, I always have, that's where I live, Pittsburgh, by the way. Driving around town, I always have my eyes peeled for murals or cool signs or colorful places. And this place that's shown in the photo right here, it's called Elevate Fusion Fitness. And it is a gym. They have these insane cardio classes on a Versa climber, which is like a Stairmaster kind of a thingy, but it's all like your body weight. They're so hard. My friend Jordan teaches there and his class is ridiculous. So I had been there a few times for fitness classes and I noticed that they had this awesome mural out front. And then they also have a juice bar inside, like a smoothie bar called Salud Express. It's called Express because it's like a mini location for them. So I knew that this would be a very Instagrammable place for me because beautiful little smoothie bowls are very Instagrammable. There's murals, which are nice and colorful, and I really like the murals, and I actually know the artist as well. So that was a huge connection for me. And then they have these huge windows, so I knew it would be nice and bright and light. When I was thinking about going there to take photos, I actually thought they would have tables outside. And so I was thinking in my head that I could take some really cute photos outside, but when I got there, it was raining and I don't think they had their tables outside yet because it's pretty much been winter until like last week. So you kind of have to just work with what you got. Okay, so now I want to show you, excuse me, the images that I took when I got there. So as soon as I walked in the door, I ordered a smoothie bowl. And while the guy was making that, I took these photos. I knew going into this how many photos I was going to need. I knew I wanted to take 6 different images because in my Instagram feed, I always use a third of my photos are quote images that I make with a template. And then the other 2/3 are a mix of original photos and stock photos. So I knew that to get myself through a month's worth of postings, and now just to clarify, I post 3 times a week on my Instamistic account. Over at Tmystic, I post more like 5 times a week. But on Instamistic, I just post 3 times a week. So I did the math and I figured out exactly how many posts I was going to need in order to do that for 4 weeks. And I knew that I wanted to take 6 images. So these are the images that I took. One of them just shows my hand holding my phone and the background is nice and blurred out. I also was wearing silver booties that day, so I took one of their chairs and that green wall is actually leading into the bathroom. So I took the chair over there back by the bathrooms and took my shoes off and put them on the chair and took a photo. I asked permission if I could go behind the counter and take a picture of the espresso machine because that's also very Instagrammable and I can't get through my day without a little espresso. So that really made a lot of sense for me. And then they also had a really pretty plant over at the reception, the sign-in desk. And I asked if I could take that plant and take a photo of it. So I took it over. There was a white, a painted brick half wall kind of underneath the counter for the juice place. You can see it in the background of the photo of my phone that I'm holding. So I took the plant over there and I propped it up on a chair and I took sort of a semi-artistic photo of that. And then once my smoothie bowl was ready, I took a picture of that with my phone and I opened up my phone to a quote image that says manifesting Instagram success, because that's one of the things I'm really into on my account. And then the sixth photo that I took is the one in the top left corner, and that is a smoothie bowl just being held in front of that mural out front. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat, you guys. Okay, so these are all the images that I took. And I just want to be clear, I took these all like while I was waiting for my smoothie. I was there for a total of like 15 minutes. And I want to thank the staff who was there at Elevate because they let me do this ridiculous thing and rearrange all their stuff. Okay, now the next part was to find some stock images to sort of beef up my content a little bit. And I use a site called Unsplash for those. All the images on there come with a creative license that allows you to use the images for your own marketing purposes. They request that you do give credit to the photographers, and I usually do, but just to show how free and open the rights are for these images, they don't require you to even give credit. So it's a wonderful resource. It is nice if you can give credit and support those people. But these are the images that I came up with from Unsplash. And just to tell you a little bit like how I searched for them, I know that my account has a lot of pink in it, but if I just go back to the previous slide, there wasn't a ton of pink at Elevate and Salute. So I knew that when I went into Unsplash, I wanted to find more pink. So I combined like pink and green to kind of tie it all together. I love the neon pink breathe sign. That made a lot of sense for me. I'm all about telling people how to like just take a breath, calm down, don't overreact. It's just Instagram, right? So that made a lot of sense. I could totally picture what kind of a caption I would write for that. The next one shows a summary bag and a pinkish backdrop. And I love that the iPad that's in it has sort of like Instagram-y kind of pictures in it. So I think I could make a really great caption for that one as well. And then I love the girl that's holding her hands up, kind of blocking her face. As soon as I saw that, I knew that my caption for that would kind of be about how you need to show yourself in your Instagram account so that your followers can connect with you. So in order to search for these images, I typed in things like pink palm, girl boss is one that I search for a lot, and that's sort of how I come up with these images. So I downloaded these guys. All right. The next step was to create some of my quote images. Like I mentioned on my account, about a third of my posts are quote style images. And I have a template that I use for these. It's a Photoshop template because I know Photoshop really well, but you could also use something like Canva, which is free and online and very easy to use. That's canva.com if you're not familiar with it. All right, someone is asking a question. I just want to answer it really quick. Do you think it's, I think they say, do you think it's okay to use original photos if you can, though? Yes, I definitely would encourage people to use original photos as much as possible. However, I understand that it can be really difficult for people to fill their entire feed with, do I think it's better? Okay, gotcha, Morgan. It is better to use original images, but it can be hard if you're not a professional photographer, or if you're not confident that you have an artistic eye, to get really great images. So that's why I like to mix in just a few stock images, because it gives my account a little bit more polish, because they're really nice images. Unsplash has really great quality stuff. But of course, if you can take enough original photos, that is the best, because you always own your original content. So one of the biggest problems on Instagram is people regramming or resharing or reposting images that they don't have permission to use. And 8 times out of 10, people are totally cool with that. But every once in a while, you're going to get someone who gets really bent out of shape about you using their images. And especially if you're not crediting them properly and that kind of stuff. That's why using original images is not only going to showcase like who you are and what you're about, but legally you 100% own those. And so they're obviously the best. Okay. I have another little question here from Val. Would you recommend, as you did, trying to knock out a month of phones, generally speaking, in one day? I think I know what you're, of photos. Okay. I'm reading everyone's typos. So I did this just yesterday afternoon to show you guys how freaking simple it is. And I think that if you can find a location to go to where there's enough variety that you can take a whole bunch of different images in one place, like all those images I'll show you later when I show kind of the order of my feed. You can't necessarily tell that I took them all within 15 minutes of each other in one place. So I love to kind of find an urban location that has many different venues all right next to each other. And then that way you can kind of bounce around and take a whole bunch of different images at one time. It is a huge time saver, but you also don't always want to have your account planned exactly out for a month. I mean, I'm showing you how to do that today, but you might want to have a little bit of flexibility just in case anything pops up. And you can certainly plan it out for a month and then pop in or swap out an extra post here and there. Okay, a couple other questions here. I'm just gonna tackle them while we're talking. The proper way to credit a photo. So if you are using stock images or regramming or using someone else's images, if you're regramming something, I would definitely recommend that you ask permission to the person, that you send them a DM or an email. Sometimes people's profiles have instructions on what they want you to do in order to ask for permission for something like that. You can also simply comment on a post and say, hey, is it cool if I share this? I love this. And see if they write you back. If they don't write you back, then obviously don't do it. And then when you do share their post, I think that the proper way to credit it is to tag them in the photo so that when you tap on the photo, their tag shows up. And then I also tag them in the caption. And I tag them in the caption in a way that it's very obvious. So I don't, I've seen some people credit photos where they really bury the credit, and I don't really know why you would do that. It's not hurting anyone to make it really obvious whose photo it is. That would be the most transparent and best way to do that. Okay. All right. People have lots of awesome little comments and things like that, so check that out. I'm going to go back to my order of everything. If any other questions come up, just let me know. So here's my quote images. I'm just noticing now that I have a duplicate of 2 of the same one, but that's fine. And then I also have 2 portraits of myself that were taken back in February when I was at the Saguaro Hotel in Palm Springs for the Alt Summit conference. Conferences and events are a really great way to get photos of yourself. This conference that I was at is a very design heavy conference. So there was actually a photographer there who came up from Los Angeles for a day or 2 and was offering $50 mini sessions. So I paid him $50 and I got about 30 photos of me. We just walked around the property of this hotel and just took a whole bunch of different snapshots. And it was wonderful. So I've been kind of like peppering those photos throughout my account. They have lots of great colors. I strategically wore an outfit that would have pink in it so that it could be on brand for me. So just to recap here, between my original photos, the stock images, my quotes, and these portraits, my total cost was like not even $50. I paid $50 for this whole photo shoot, and these are just two of the photos from there. And then I guess my smoothie cost $9, my smoothie bowl, so you can count that as an expense as well. All right. Now, the next thing that I did was edit my photos. So these are the 4 photos that I chose from my photo shoot yesterday that I really liked and wanted to use. I use an app called A Color Story to edit my photos. It has some really awesome filters and some lighting effects and different things like that. So I want to show you what I did. So I went from, these are my original straight out of the camera photos, and then I edited them for Instagram with my account and my branding in mind, and this is what I came up with. Ta-da! So they are much brighter, much lighter. The espresso machine, I actually put like a pink color fade at the top of it to tie it more into my branding. If you want to see the before and after again, I went from this to this. So A Color Story is an awesome app. There are many other photo editing apps that you can get, and I have a lot of lists of those things on my resources on my blog and everything. Excuse me, one second. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'd have blown my nose a second. Can't believe I got sick the week I had to do this. So now I have my edited photos that are a lot more on brand. And here we go. So I just recapped for you like the total cost of my photos for this project, which including the total cost of my portrait session, it's about $59 for all of this. So it's very affordable. And then time is also a expensive resource for many of us. Our time is invaluable. So how much time did I spend on all of this? Driving to and from the smoothie bar took me 30 minutes. My time there was about 15 minutes. I spent another 15 minutes in A Color Story editing the photos to make them more in line with my brand. Then I spent about 15 minutes on Unsplash, finding those stock images that I wanted to use. And then it took me about another 15 minutes to create the quotes using my quote template that I have in Photoshop. And the quotes are things that might tie into promotions or events or different marketing initiatives that I have. And then I also just put some inspirational quotes. Whenever I find inspirational quotes, I usually keep track of them in the Notes app on my phone. And Rochelle, I see Rochelle commenting the blog pause illness. Oh, the struggle, it's real. That's where I got sick. So Rochelle was at the pet blogging conference with me last week, and I think I was inside for like 4 solid days, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to fresh air, so that was hard. Okay, sorry, I'm getting very ADD with this text, with this chat box. But anyhow, as you can see, the total time that I invested in this is about 1 hour and 30 minutes. That is like nothing, you guys. That's like 2 episodes of a show. So skip your Netflix tonight and just plan out your Instagram feed for the next month. It'll save you so much time and energy and effort. All right, so the next step was to import all of this stuff into my visual planning app called Planoly. If you're not familiar with Planoly, it's a visual planner, which means that you upload your photos and then you can order them and drag and drop them and write your captions, and you can schedule them. So this is what it looked like when I imported all of these different images to Planoly. They're kind of all over the place, right? And I also want to mention I imported my quote images and my stock images and the portraits of me from my desktop computer because they were all on my computer, but I edited those other original photos on a color story. And so they were on my phone because it's a mobile app, and I was able to import those photos into Planoly from my phone. So I know that sounds kind of confusing, but I just wanted to emphasize that it's so easy to use Planoly because you can import from different locations. I don't know if, like, I might not be the only person who's constantly airdropping and texting things to myself. So this is a huge time saver and just like saved you a lot of steps, so you don't have to text photos to yourself just to get them on your phone. All right. Then I went into Planoly and I organized my photos just by dragging and dropping them around. Now, I like to have my quotes all line up in a nice little line. So I did that, and I kind of alternated between ones that had more text and less text so that it was just kind of nice and balanced. And then the other 2/3 of the images are a mix of the stock images, original photos that I took yesterday afternoon, and then 2 of those portraits from the Alt Summit conference. And then I also want to point out at the very top left-hand corner, there is what Planoly calls a placeholder. So what's really awesome about this app is that you can insert just kind of like blank squares that will help you kind of plan out your feed. So I know that that's going to be a quote, like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks from now, because this is in order from bottom to top. So it's like chronologically how it would display on Instagram if you were to fill all this in. So that one way at the top is actually 5 weeks from now. That's not going to be posted even until June, which is hard to believe. So I have time to create that quote, but I just put it in there so that I could see how the other 2 photos would display next to something like that. So I hope this makes sense to everybody. Val just asked me if I struggle balancing multiple accounts, and yes, I most certainly do. It's a lot to juggle, but this app called Planoly, it makes my life a lot easier. I have actually like 7 accounts programmed into there, and I can toggle between them all. And it's just, it really does save me a whole lot of effort. So, but no, it's a lot to keep track of. Okay. Now I mentioned integrating some of my upcoming marketing promotions and events into my captions. I would definitely encourage you to do that. There's you can have lots of success planning something on a whim, but in general, if you plan it out in advance, you're going to feel a lot less stressed out about it. So sure, you can be successful just doing it at a moment's notice, but it might be very stressful to you. And I try to eliminate stress as much as possible in my life. And I encourage you guys to do the same because stress is not good for you. So I also check out any upcoming holidays like Dog Parents Day or something like that, which is coming up. And then of course, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, all that kind of stuff. I just took photos of my dog Lucy the other night with an ice cream cone shaped dog toy because I'm sure that ice cream cone day is coming up sometime soon. So I'll use that photo then. So plan out your captions. You can write them all in Planoly. So in that previous screen, you would just click on any of those photos and you can type out your captions on the computer. I also love using that as a way to keep track of photo credits because like someone was asking earlier about photo credits. In Planoly, when I get the images from Unsplash, they give you the photo credit to use to just copy and paste, and I paste it right into Planoly so that when it comes time to post that photo in 2 or 3 weeks from now, the photo credit is already in there. Then secondly, I want you to plan to post at times that are convenient to you. So Planoly and other planning apps like Later or Hootsuite or whatever you want to use, they will all pretty much send you a reminder at the time that you've scheduled your post to go. So you want to make sure that you're not planning them all to go out at like 12:30 when you know that you have that you're going to be out for lunch every day at 12:30. Or maybe 12:30 is perfect for you. I don't know. For me, I like to plan them all for like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning so I can do my posts before I get wrapped up in my day. Now, I just want to mention really quickly, a lot of these services now offer auto posting. And I did utilize auto posting last week when I was at a conference because I knew I wouldn't really be available. But in general, I wouldn't recommend doing auto posting because the whole way that you're going to grow your account is by engaging with people. And if you just let the app auto post for you, you're not going to be present on Instagram. You're not going to be available to engage with people. And in the long run, it's really going to hurt your account. So I would recommend just doing the regular scheduling and getting the reminder and then manually copying and pasting and posting it yourself, because that'll give you a chance to add hashtags, to comment on a few posts while you're in there, reply to comments that you've received. It's just a way better way to handle things. Now, your caption planning might take you another hour. That's probably the more intensive part of all of this planning, because writing, writer's block is real. And it might just take you a while to figure out exactly what you want to say, especially 4 weeks in the future from now. It's hard for some of us to plan that far in advance. So now we're up to about 2 hours and 30 minutes. But even if it takes you an extra hour, that's just 3.5 hours, which is really just an afternoon. So you guys really, really can plan a whole month's worth of content in just an afternoon. Now, here is the calendar view. This is the desktop version of my Planoly app. And so you can see I scheduled these posts to go out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the next 5 weeks, really. So I am all set to go pretty much through June, which is really exciting. All right, now, how are you going to sort of wrap your head around all of this and stay positive about it all? Because it can be very, oh, someone says that Color Story and Planoly. Yeah, those actually, Planoly is an authorized app from Instagram. They're an official partner with Instagram. So they are one of the only planning apps besides like Later that are actually authentic and they should not be considered suspicious whatsoever. And then a Color Story, I do not think that it needs to be linked to your Instagram account whatsoever. So I'm not sure why you'd be getting a notification about that. But also there have been a ton of changes to privacy and security on Instagram and all of these social networks in the past couple of weeks. I just got a slew of emails in the last day from every site ever, including ones that I don't even think exist anymore, like Periscope, saying that they've changed their terms of service. So they might be locking down on stuff as well, but you should be fine. You don't have to link up Color Story. And then Planoly is a partner app, so that one is totally 100% safe to use. Okay. Now, this is something that I'm really, really into, and I just want to touch on it kind of quickly for you guys. There's a lot more on my website if you want to dive in. I just published a reading and podcast list of some of my favorite books and podcasts to get more information about the law of attraction. Basically, if you're not familiar, it means that your vibe attracts your tribe. I encourage you to focus on the positive and think in an abundance mindset when it comes to your likes, your followers, and your comments. Because when you focus on abundance and positivity, the universe will sort of amplify those thoughts and those messages, and that's exactly what you'll get back. Whereas on the other side, if you're just focusing on who's unfollowing you and how many likes you're not getting, then that's all the universe is going to hear, and they're just going to give you more negativity. I know it sounds a little woo-woo and crazy, but I have been following this mindset for the past 1.5 years, and it has made such a difference. I just noticed when I'm talking to people, I was talking to someone yesterday and they were just being such a negative Nancy, and I'm like, I don't even think that way anymore because I am just so focused on attracting the kind of qualities that I want, which is just positivity and niceness and all of this kind of stuff. So I can see that some of the people in the group agree with this and have utilized it. It really, really works. Another thing that I love to do is to plan my feed from a high vibe place. So what exactly does that mean? I think when you're like a high vibration, when you have like positive vibrations and lots of energy, you're in a really good place and you're really happy. So in order to get to a level like that, I like to kind of burn my favorite candles, play some music that I like, my favorite Pandora playlist to listen to while I'm working is the Vitamin Strings, because it's classical music remixes of pop music and like Nirvana and stuff like that, but all classical, so it's really cool. So I love to listen to that. And then I also like to keep some yummy snacks on hand because a full Tory is a happy Tory. So I'm high vibing if I've got some good snacks and some good music playing. And that just kind of puts me in a good mood while I'm writing my captions. It helps me write captions that are really positive and just really encouraging and you know, embody what I want to put out there in the universe. So yeah, stay positive and your account will keep growing. This workshop wasn't really intended to be about how to grow your account. It was more about how to plan your account. But I do have a lot of other stuff about growing your account if you want to do that and learn more about Instagram. So speaking of, learn more about growing your Instagram account. I am so excited because today is the day that my online course, Instamistic, reopens for enrollment. This course first opened up in November of 2017, and it was really awesome. That was the first time I offered it, and it was only available for 7 days to enroll in, and so now I have just reopened it today. So you guys are the first people who are hearing about this, so I'm so excited. In this course, I'm going to show you how to define your niche. That's really important for your account, and some of the people who are watching this, who've worked with me in the past, know how important it is to get specific about what your account is about. And then in the course, I also share my proven system for growth, exactly how I got from 1,500 to 32K today. There's also a ton of information about hashtag and engagement strategy, showing you exactly how to find awesome hashtags, how to engage with them, how to find accounts that are like-minded like you, that are going to help you grow your account and vice versa. And there's a ton of bonus resources, like so much stuff. I just want to tell you guys a little bit more about the bonuses and everything, and then I will get to questions at the end, so please stay tuned. I'm just going to blow through this course information really quick, and then I will get to all of your questions if you have any more in just a few minutes. So like I said, enrollment is now open, and I have a great bonus. Everyone who signs up for the Instamistic online course is going to get access to a workshop that I co-hosted with a travel blogger. Her account is at Fjords and Beaches, and she's currently, I think, traveling around Bali because of how she grew her Instagram account. So that's really awesome. We hosted a workshop called Magical Ways to Grow Engagement on Instagram. So you get both of our expertise in that workshop. That comes free, included with the Instamistic course for anyone who signs up. And then I have some early bird only bonuses. So I have a hashtag library that has over 100 hashtags that I have researched. They're really high performing hashtags in a variety of industries, from self-help to retail to beauty to dogs, all sorts of awesome hashtags that you can just swipe and use on your own posts. And then I spent all this time talking about Planoly in here. I love Planoly, so I actually created a course all about it. It's called Planoly Perfection, and it is full of a ton of screen share videos that show you exactly how it integrates with different apps on my phone and on my computer, how I schedule stuff, how you can find other photos to repost, how you can save lists of your hashtags and just automatically plug them into your posts. It is an awesome app. Here's a little bit more information about the course. So Planoly was actually created with a designer and an editor's point of view in mind. So it is a beautiful planner, and that's very important to me. I can't stand spending all my energy on a site that doesn't look good. There's also a free plan, so you can use it for free if you only want to have one Instagram account linked up to it. If you want to have more than one account, I think the lowest plan starts at $19 a month. So that's still very, very affordable. And it gives you a ton of accessibility to stuff. The course is full, like I said, of screen share videos showing exactly how I use everything, all the integrations with other apps like a color story, Dropbox, and even just your camera roll on your phone. It's a huge time saver. And then this is awesome. Planoly lets you schedule stories, and you can even import some text to use on your stories. So if you want to keep track of certain hashtags for events and you want to also batch out a whole bunch of stories that you want to share, Planoly is an awesome way to do that. And then one of the things that Val asked about managing multiple accounts, I use Planoly to also share drafts of my scheduled posts with my clients or my team that I work with. So it has just so much functionality, and I'm really, really excited. That course comes out today. So I'm really excited to offer that to everyone. But for now, it's only going to go to my early bird people for free. So woohoo! All right, enrollment for the Instamistic course closes next Friday night, May 4th at midnight, or maybe 1 minute sooner. So make sure that you sign up by next Friday if you do want to get in on that. The early bird bonuses expire this Friday at midnight. So if you do want to get access to the Planoly course for free and the hashtag library for free, make sure that you sign up by this Friday at midnight. Otherwise, you have until next Friday if you just want to get the course regular on its own. All right, so I told you guys I would blow through that very quick. I think it was less than 5 minutes of selling. So I'm back now, and I can answer any questions that you have. I know there's quite a few people still watching and still on here. So let me know what kind of questions you have, and I'll hang out for another 5 or so minutes and answer any questions you have about Instagram. I'm gonna drink some more tea while I'm waiting for you guys. All right, and I'll actually I'll stop screen sharing, and I'll just open up to my face so you can see me. Make sure my hair is not all crazy. Thank you guys so much. So how much time do I spend growing my Instagram account? Someone just asked that. Excuse me. On a daily basis, I go on my Instagram account anywhere from like 10 or 15 minutes if I don't have a ton of time, to sometimes I will spend over an hour on my account. And the main chunk of my time is spent engaging with other accounts. So for me, since I do love to plan out my posts in advance and write my captions in advance, sometimes doing the actual post takes less than a minute because I'm just copying and pasting things that I've already pre-planned. And then I'll spend the rest of my time following up on the hashtags that I use, checking in on some of my favorite accounts and commenting on their latest posts and stuff like that. So it does vary from day to day, but I do have a really great worksheet that is included in the course that shows you exactly how to spend your time on Instagram if you want to just do it in 20 minutes a day. All right, I've grown about 1,200 followers since we worked last time, but I've got to master some of these tools to streamline. Yes, good. I'm so happy for your growth, Sam. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. Mastering some of these tools like Planoly and streamlining, like you said, I just love that I can import stuff from my phone and import stuff from my computer, and then it all ends up in the same app that they're all linked and tied up together. It really is streamlined, and it's awesome. Okay, then Lauren says, I've noticed a significant decrease in the number of likes I've been getting on my business account, even though my followers have increased. Do you think I've been shadow banned, and is that even a thing? So shadow banning, like, I was never really a huge believer in that. I think that you're only going to get shadow banned if you are misusing something some way, or if you are just liking a million things. I just read the email from Instagram today. Everyone should have gotten it, outlining their new terms of service. And instead of just clicking agree at the bottom, I actually read it because I wanted to know exactly what their changes were. And one of the things that they said is that they are watching exactly how you swipe and how you tap within the app to determine if you are a real person or a robot. Now, they're doing this to kind of cut down on bot accounts and cut down on misuse, but just kind of think about that for a second and don't use Instagram like a bot. So if you are afraid of getting banned or shadow banned, that's something that would happen if Instagram thinks that you're being a bot, which means that you're just robo-liking stuff without any discretion for what it's about. Excuse me 1 second, guys. Oh, the blog pod's cold. It's real. So I hope that I explained what shadow banning is. If you feel like your likes have decreased, just make sure that you are putting out there a lot more than what you're expecting to get back. So one of the quote images that I had in this presentation, I don't know if you read it, was from Dale Carnegie, and it said that you'll get more friends if you spend 2 months being interested in other people than you would spending 2 years trying to get people interested in you. So I think that's a really, really good metaphor for Instagram, is that you should spend more time discovering other people, discovering accounts that you love and photos that you love, and telling them how much you love them and how great they are, and you'll get that all back in return on your account more than if you just try to get people to you. Okay, Nikki wants to know, should you post stories every day? I think so. So stories is being really pushed heavily by Instagram. It shows up in the very top of the app. And then if you scroll through your feed, there are other little bars where stories appear. Of course, they also show up on your profile. And then if you do any kind of a search for a hashtag or something like that, stories also show up in there. So stories show up in a lot of different places throughout Instagram, which means they're really pushing them. So if you have active stories every day, you're more likely to show up in all those different various places. So I think it is good to do that frequently. Do you spend more time engaging with people you already follow or with potential new followers? So that's a really great question. I don't like to leave my current followers high and dry, so I do scroll through my feed and like and comment on things like that. I also use the collections tool, where if you click that little flag at the bottom of a post, you can save it to a collection. I use the collections tool, almost like a Pinterest board, where I keep track of some of my favorite accounts, and I'll go in there and click on them and find their latest posts and interact with them that way. But if you are wanting to grow your account and get new people to find you, of course, engaging with new potential followers is going to do that for you. All right, how do you make it clear to your community that your emphasis was dog blog and generate interest there while using your name as your username? That's a very good question. So I have sort of struggled with this in the past, and I polled my audience back in December if I should change my name, my username, from Teen Mystic to Wear Wag Repeat, which is the name of my blog. And I got a lot of different feedback from people. Most people told me to just leave it how it was, and then a ton of people sent me DMs with their opinion on why I should leave it how it was. And one of those DMs made a lot of sense to me. So I am a dog mom blogger, but I also do a lot of things. I also do Instagram consulting, and I act and model in commercials and things like that. I do a lot of different things. And I love dog blogging, but I might not do that for the rest of my life. So this person sent me a DM that said that it was important to keep my username at Teen Mystic because I'm growing the Tori Mystic brand. So I want people to know me. I might not have the same dog forever. Unfortunately, our dogs don't live long enough. So I don't want to use my dog's name in the username. I want to sort of make myself known as like the dog mom. I also utilize my bio and I put dog mom blogger right in the headline, right next, it says Tori Mystic, dog mom blogger. And then in my bio, I have hashtag dog mom, and all of my posts, if you look at my account, 2/3 of my photos are all just Lucy, and 1/3 of them are me and Lucy together. And then our profile picture shows me and Lucy together. So you can't look at my account and not know that I'm a dog mom. Okay. This might seem so basic, but how do you make longer stories? Mine cuts off after 15 seconds. Yes. So the maximum time for video on stories, I think, is 15 seconds. I thought it was like 10 seconds, but maybe it's 15. And you just publish that one, and then you just make another one. So if you want to talk for a minute, you would just publish like 6 different little videos all in a row. Okay. What is your take on followers apps? Is there magic to those numbers? I get super frustrated by IG accounts who follow then unfollow. I don't want to do that, but does it work? So like I mentioned with the law of attraction, I don't think that you should focus on who's unfollowing you. I think that those apps that show you who unfollows you are super toxic. There's no need for us to focus on who is unfollowing us. That's not important. If they're not following you, they're not important. So I encourage you to just focus on the new followers that you are getting and the new likes that you are getting. And like I said, go out there and tell other people how much you like them and how much you like their content. There is a limit to how many people you can follow on Instagram. So sometimes people will have to unfollow in order to keep following more accounts. I have had to unfollow a ton of people before because I was just following too many things. And then some people just don't like to follow a lot of accounts, but they still can discover you through hashtags, through location tags, through stories, through all sorts of different stuff. Just because someone isn't following you doesn't mean that they're not interacting with your content, and doesn't mean that you should just write them off. So just try to stay positive about it and just focus on growing and focus on the positivity that you can put out there into the world. Okay. Barbara says, why do some accounts that are huge follow you? Okay, I think I just answered your question already. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And my commercial has been playing. I am on a commercial in Toronto. So would you suggest watermarking your own photos, or how does that work for people to know that they're your own photos? So I don't watermark my photos, but some people do. I've definitely been in a situation where I get really frustrated when people repost my photo without permission and without proper credit, and it sucks. Like, there's just no denying it. It sucks if some account posts your photo and you don't get anything out of it. One of my friends was just reposted by some big account, like Ellen or Chrissy Teigen or something like that. It was a dog photo. I think it was reposted by Chrissy Teigen, and she didn't credit it at all. Who knows where she found it? But so that kind of sucks, because then that person doesn't gain anything from that kind of exposure. I mean, you could really do legwork and go and reply to every comment on Chrissy Teigen's photo, but it just kind of sucks that she wasn't credited properly. So you could put a watermark on your photos, but that watermark's not going to be like clickable. It's not going to go back to your account. So it's just an aesthetic thing. Some people like to put watermarks on because they think it kind of protects them and will help with their branding and let people know that they are and prevent people from taking credit for their own work. But I don't know. I just kind of surrendered to it, and I don't put watermarks on mine. So if you do a watermark, I would make it kind of somewhere subtle where it's not interrupting the actual aesthetic of the photo. Oh, a link to my online course. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? If you click the pink button that says Become an IG Boss, that will take you directly to the Instamystic course. I should have mentioned that sooner, huh? Thank you for asking. Okay, now I hate how Instagram only shows you the top posts. I know that sucks. I miss out on accounts that I want to interact with. Yeah, so I do recommend following hashtags. If there's some certain hashtags that you like I always follow Dog Mom or Dog Mom AF or something like that. I'll follow those hashtags, and I do see those pop up in my like news feed or my main feed. So that's a great way. And then, like I said, using collections, almost like a Pinterest board. You can use a collection to keep track of your favorite accounts and go back and interact with them that way. All right, guys, it is 12 o'clock on the dot. So I am going to sign off. This was exactly 1 hour, so very successful. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to check out my online course, Instamistic, and get in on it before the early bird bonuses expire, click the pink button below, and you too can become an IG boss babe. I look forward to seeing you guys over there. There's going to be some emails coming from me over the course of the next week just because I am in big promotion mode. So please excuse me while I blast you with a bunch of emails for the next week. After May 4th, we'll go back to normal and just have one email every week or so with news about Instagram and different things like that. So there will be a replay if you missed this. The link will be going out in an email to all of you at 3 p.m. today. So I just wanted to give a couple of hours for everything to just process. But at 3 p.m. today, you'll get an email with the link to the replay for this. I think you might also just be able to go back. If you click on the video, you might be able to just scroll back in time and watch the beginning. So thank you guys so much. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. It really means a lot to me. And if you have any questions at all about anything, you can always find me on Instagram. I'm there way too much at Instamistic or at TMystic, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.